Welcome back to the Wave Podcast. My name is Omar Muhammad, helping you improve and progress in business and in life. Absolutely. So the Wave Podcast is brought to you by a support from Truist Bank Foundation, and is powered by the Entrepreneurial Development and Assistance Center at Morgan State University. So for those who are not familiar with what we do, you can go to the website at edacmorgan.com, as well as you'll find as much information as you want about what we do. On this particular podcast, we really focus on women entrepreneurs, women of color who are veterans, or women who are looking to do government contracting. And today we're talking about the capability statement, the importance of having that tool if you're looking to do business with the federal government. And with that said, I want to bring to the forefront Arthenia LaFleur. Hey, Arthenia, how are you?
Hi, Omar. Thank you. I'm doing great. How are you?
Hey, always improving and progressing. And we also have Tanya Taylor. Hey, Tanya, how are you?
Hello, everyone. Omar and Athenia. This is Tanya. I'm great. How are you?
Great. Improving.
Hi, thank you, Tanya.
All right, so I'm gonna let you all introduce yourselves, and then you all gonna have what I call speed learning, and we're gonna learn more about the capability statement. And I'm gonna turn it over to you first, Arthenia, and you can all go from there.
All right. Thank you so much, Omar. Good afternoon, everyone. So as Omar stated, I will be talking about capability statements. So what is a capability statement? A capability statement is a promotional document that is used to market your company. So it tells the reader who you are, what you do, and why a government contractor or a prime contractor should buy your goods or services from you. There are two types of capability statements. Each type presents information about your company in a specified style that is easy to read. Both will contain similar types of information and must have specific information that is easy to find. Keep in mind, when you're marketing to the state or local government, they will not be looking for this particular information. So you have to make it easy for them to find. Think of your capability statement as a quick snapshot of what your company has done so far. What certifications does your company have? If your company is currently being interviewed for a certification, you can always state on the capability statement that your certification is in process. List your certification and what experience or training that you or your company has that is specific to your industry. Tanya?
Yes, ma'am.
Any questions or information you want to add?
I would just like to add, as I was working on my capability statement, trying to launch into government contracting, I have some questions regarding the NAICS codes. If you could explain that a little bit.
Yes. Have you selected your NAICS code?
Yes, ma'am. I have about 7 or 8 that would describe the company.
Okay, Tanya, this is just a suggestion. I usually recommend no more than 5 or 6 because you really want to be, unless you want to add those and they are important to you, but I always say if you're going to have next codes, try to at least have some past performance in those particular next codes.
Okay, yeah, that kind of leads to my next question. I'm a former government employee, and my company is called EGW, and we are a business management and consulting firm. I'm sorry. A business management and consulting firm that has prior budgeting and financial experience with the federal government. How would you, I guess, how would you classify that, or how would you think I could market that skill set?
Okay, first of all, I think you should market it by becoming a subcontractor first. So you want to find, and you can find it in USA Spending, what agencies are buying what you have to offer.
Okay.
And then you can find out if, say, for instance, the agency may be DOD or Department of the Army. Then you're going to have to dig deeper to find out who the small business specialist is, maybe who the contracting officer that awards these types of contracts that cover your next code.
Okay.
So you're going to have to develop a marketing plan.
Okay. And would you have any suggestions? I'm sorry, go ahead.
I'm sorry, Tanya.
No, I was just asking, did you have any suggestions as to other than reaching out to the contracting specialist, and I'm sorry, the other person that you mentioned on the
contracting officers.
Contracting off. Okay, so kind of like, they would be referred to like as a COTAR on the contract, and they would be able to point me in the direction of someone that has specific contracts with the NAICS codes I'm seeking?
No, you're gonna have to go through the gatekeepers first. So
Okay.
the agencies always have, especially the federal government, they will have OSTBU officers, Office of Small Disadvantaged Business Utilization.
Okay.
And under that umbrella, you will have listed, for the most part, small business specialists.
Okay.
And they will tell you how to market to your agency.
Okay, and that's the what was that office? Small business. I'm sorry.
Yes, it's called OSTBU.
OSTBU.
Office of Small Disadvantaged Business Utilization.
Okay.
You can find those you can Google who is the OSTBU officer for Health and Human Services, or who's the OSTBU for Department of the Navy. Now, you may find several of them under that umbrella. So you're going to have to find the one that's responsible for awarding contracts under your next code.
Okay. Okay, that's good information. Yes, ma'am. Yes, that was great. Thank you. Thank you. So that'll kind of give me a better direction in which to not just aimlessly go online and search the different marketplaces for contracts. More of a specialized way to search would be by agency, and then start digging that way.
That way. I also suggest that, you contact the Maryland PTAC organization.
Okay.
They are a nonprofit organization located in College Park. And
okay.
I was employed a part of that program for 19 years. So you contact them, go online, fill out their online application, become a client. Now your business has to be at least 1 year old.
Okay.
And it has to be in good standing with the state of Maryland.
Okay. Okay. And is there any way, would you suggest, because I'm not at 1 year just yet, wait, or is it a process to getting to see someone, would you advise starting earlier in the process or waiting until I hit the 1-year mark?
Yeah. No, you're going to have to wait for the 1-year mark because they're not going to accept your application. They're going to refer you to the Small Business Development Center.
Okay.
That is the SBDC.
Yes, ma'am. I'm a part of the SBDC. So, okay, I'll continue looking down that avenue for advice. Okay.
Okay, and you can ask the SBDC to help you start looking for subcontracts. You know, they should have a list, hopefully, of prime contractors that you can start reaching out to as well.
Okay. Okay. Awesome. That's good. That's good. Because I was kind of wondering with being relatively new to the process, is there like a waiting period, or would, somebody want to work with someone that's been established a bit longer?
Well, it is hard because a lot of times, even with the prime contractors, they want you to have some past performance.
Okay.
Now, their stipulation may be that you had past performance with as an employee, or you may have past performance, your company, and start small. You can start small, but I also recommend, and I really urge that you do this, is to get a good marketing business plan through SBDC. Okay.
Okay, so a marketing business plan is separate from, I guess, the original business plan that sets out your, your statement, your mission, your vision. The marketing plan is separate from that?
No, actually, it can be combined. Okay. I think of a marketing plan as being just a little bit broader than a business plan.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Now, with that, you want to, you can always start marketing your services and looking into the different bid boards for the different counties as well. Now, you may want to start off just with the local or state government.
Okay. Okay, because yes, I've looked. Okay, I've registered with the Emma, which is the Maryland Marketplace.
Exactly.
Registered with Sam. And I also, just this past weekend, I was looking at a few of the contracts. I saw some for like the small counties, as you mentioned, like just in case some point, I saw one for Frederick County, and they were doing a disparity study. So I was just kind of reading the requirements of that, and they actually have like a pre-bid meeting coming up on the 15th. So would you suggest, even though I might not be ready to bid on that contract, attend the pre-bid meeting? Is that permissible?
Oh, absolutely. But that's where your capability statement really comes in handy. So when is the pre-bid conference?
July 15th. I believe it's Friday coming.
Okay, not very much time, unless you can go online and see a sample capability statement. But your capability statement is your icebreaker. So when you're attending pre-bid conferences like that, you want to have one ready, because you never know what large or prime contractor is looking for a subcontractor with your expertise.
Yes, ma'am. And in fact, I did, like I was explaining to the moderator of the meeting, I have put together a preliminary capability statement. And I guess I like remove a couple of the NACE codes per your suggestion, because I wasn't sure how many I should put on there, or what would be too much or not too many and not enough. So I do have one defined with my core capabilities. And like you said, with my previous experience, I pulled off some of the critical elements and the language that I rated high on over the course of my career with the government. So with that being said, and you said having that at the pre-bid meeting, would that be, how would I guess, interject that into that meeting? Would I just simply introduce myself and my company during the meeting, or getting the names of the attendees of the meeting and then reaching them after the fact?
Those are very, very excellent questions, Tanya. Now, is it a in-person event?
No, ma'am. I think this one was actually via Zoom.
Oh, okay. So then I would go back to the contracting officer or the procurement officer and ask them for a copy of the bidders list. Or sometimes they're called interested bidders list.
Okay.
And which is fine, because that's going to give you an opportunity to reach out to those people on that list to see how you may be able to partner with them.
Okay.
And you'd be surprised. Sometimes people may not be able to use you on that particular solicitation, but they'll keep your CAPE statement and be able to use it for future references as well.
That's
So we
great.
think of your CAPE statement as a resume. You know, keep it wherever you go. Keep it updated. It's always going to be modified. But remember, you got to make it strong, because you want to be able to set yourself apart from your competitors, even as a subcontractor.
Okay, because that's what I kind of did when I was going through the capability statement. There was a section on one of the templates that I found online that had differentiators. So I kind of, like I said, I picked out specific language for the services that I offered that was based upon my critical elements and things that I was measured while being an employee. So yeah, that's great information.
That's wonderful. Now, I will say on Maryland PTAC, because I taught the class, does have extensive training on capability statements on their YouTube channel. So if you go on YouTube and just Google Maryland PTAC capability statement, you will be able to get additional training.
Okay, great. That's awesome. Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, my pleasure.
Okay.
Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Tanya.
No, go ahead.
Okay, I was just ready to say, you want to make sure that your capability statement has all the correct information on how to reach you. I know that may sound a little elementary, but make sure it has your correct email, your phone number, if you have a website. If you don't have a website, you can simply say it's under construction and then start working on your website, because people really love to see websites. It makes them feel more comfortable that you're in a legit company.
Right. That's good. Yes. I'm currently actually working on my website and building that side of the business up. So.
Good. That's absolutely wonderful. Okay. And always remember, your CAPE statement can be emailed, or it can be in person.
Okay.
You may want to also email one to the person that's the contracting officer for that solicitation. But you want to be able to, the date of the solicitation due date?
I believe it was August 3rd.
Okay, well, that's wonderful. It's a wonderful time for you to reach out and as well, and to review it or get it finalized.
Right. Okay.
I did my own capability statement about a month or so ago, and it really took me a day to do it, because I had so much I wanted to put on my capability statement about my experience. But your capability statement should be no more than 2 pages.
Right.
You can use the front and you can use the that.
And I do believe I did read somewhere where you should have or could have multiple capability statements based upon your capabilities. So
Oh,
I really thought
absolutely.
that was great advice.
Exactly. Now, I'm going to give you a list, Tanya, of some things that should always be on your capability statement. Okay. So the first one I mentioned first was how to contact your company.
Mm-hmm.
Your company's overview. What do you do? And what do you do well?
Okay.
Your codes, your next code,
Mm-hmm.
your cage code. Keyword descriptions of what your company does. What are some buzzwords
Okay.
that would make you stand out? Because remember, you're coming in where other people have been doing this for years. So you're trying to break through that barrier. And okay, and certifications. Have you started applying for any certifications?
Yes, ma'am. I've started applying for the minority small business, the MBE, the SBR.
Small Business Reserve Program.
Yes, ma'am. And I believe the lady was the representative from the SBR organization. When I as I'm filling out the application, she said that one application, I think it was the UCC, would be able to allow me to get 3 certifications based on that one.
Awesome. Awesome. Very, very good. All right. Past performance. Now, what are you going to use or state as your past performance? Because they're going to look for some past performance. One of the things any agency does not want to do is award you a contract, even a prime contract, or does not want to award you a contract, and then, you won't be able to perform the contract because then they have to go back out and recompete.
Mm-hmm.
So let's talk about your past performance. I know, I know the position you're in, but are you going to use your years of experience of working as your past performance?
That's what I was leaning towards. Would you suggest, what else would you suggest if not utilizing that as
you can definitely utilize that because that is very, very valuable. Now, it's really up to the person or the prime contractor or the agency whether they want to accept that.
Okay. Do it in your opinion, do you think that would kind of give me a competitive edge because I have the experience within the government, or say because I have private experience as well prior to going into the government, but that was like years ago. So in your professional opinion, how would you recommend I market that?
Okay, I would definitely use your experience then, but I would be truthful about it, of course. You can simply say, I gained 25 years of experience while I was working at IRS, and these are the duties I performed.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So if you want to list those duties, that you perform.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what kind of was like being okay. So being more specific towards the activity of what I was doing versus specific like reports or specific tasks. Because what I'm realizing is each agency may name it something different, but if you kind of tailor the language around a specific objective of what you're doing instead of naming names of the tasks, would that be more feasible?
Now, the best way to answer that is to look at the agency that you're going to market it to or the prime contractor to find out exactly what their format is. And you will find certain agencies, for instance, HHS, they want their capability statement presented to them in a certain format.
Oh.
Another suggestion is attending the vendor outreach days.
Okay.
HHS will tell you what they're looking for and what to submit prior to the vendor outreach day.
How would I find out about vendor outreach day? Is that like per agency?
Per agency, exactly. IRS has it monthly. HHS has it monthly. You know, of course, with COVID, everybody's doing, I won't say everybody because it's starting to open up a lot more now where they're doing the face-to-face. But you also have organizations such as an American Express or some of the other procurement fairs that will have vendor outreach days. And you always want to follow up after the vendor outreach day. You know, you meet Ms. Brown at a vendor outreach day. Feel free to call her up or email them and say, you know, we met at the vendor outreach fair on July 1st. I'm following up to make sure that you still or received my capability statement. And get a list of the prime contractors.
That kind of goes hand in hand. I attended a Clark Construction expo within the last week or so, and I made quite a good contact with quite a few people, and so I have their emails, and I did follow up with emails and my business plan, and I guess this week or maybe next week follow up with a copy of my capability statement that I produced.
Exactly. That would be very, very helpful. But the SBDC should be able to as well review your capability statement and offer suggestions to you. But you want to get an appointment with them, you know, as soon as possible.
Yes.
So that'll give you time to make any changes, additions, or deletions that they may offer.
Okay. That's the most valuable information. I'm going to do that as soon as we get off the phone and as soon as we get off and make that contact. That's awesome. Thank you.
Oh, well, thank you.
Y'all see me.
I see you.
All right, so you know, this was good. You know, again, this is an opportunity for a seasoned entrepreneur or resource provider to work with somebody who's looking to get into government contracting. And you know, I've known Arthenia for a number of years, and she is the foremost expert when it's good to work with individuals that are looking for government contracting. So definitely appreciate that. I do have one question. You said make sure your contact information is on your capability statement. You know, maybe it's a pet peeve of mine. You know, when I see people that have their Gmail account on their resume, their LinkedIn, and even their capability statement, how does somebody look at that? Or they don't matter as long as they have some way to get in contact?
Well, it's because I had Gmail and I know I should have a business email. Yeah. But if you're someone, you know, like me, I was with the PTAC for 19 years, so I didn't really need a business account, even though I still had my business. So you'll find some people that does not matter. Yeah. However, if you are really serious about the business, get and I'm in the process of doing all of that myself. And so it does take time. But I would say simply, if you're using Gmail, try to get a business account as quickly as possible. And you could simply say to a prime contractor, I'm just getting started. I plan to change my email address shortly. and I will send that to you as quickly as I possibly can. It's same thing with the website. It's always been a pet peeve of mine when somebody will say, well, my website's under construction. Well, now I'm in the same position, so.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
it's so much when you're really, even though my business has been around for 25 years, working with the PTAC for 19, I didn't have to have all of the things that I need now. So I well understand, but I just will simply say, do it as quickly as possible.
All right. So Arthenia, do you have any contact information you want to give out to individuals, please?
Oh, yes, please. You can reach me by email. It's arthenialafleur@gmail.com.
Spell it out
And
for
that's
them, Arthenia. Spell it out for them.
Oh, sure. ARTHENIALEFLEUR@gmail.com. I can be reached by your cell phone, I'm sorry,
Hold
443.
up, Arthenia. You want to give people your cell number? You want to give your people your cell number? All right, go
It's
for it.
fine.
Go for it. All right.
Okay. 443-799-8095.
All right. And same thing for you, Tanya. You want to give out your contact information if people want to reach out to you?
Okay, my contact information is Tanya, that's TANYA @egwealth.info. And my business line is 240-585-3324.
All right. Well, I want to thank both of you, Arthenia and Tanya, for this
Sure.
great conversation and just allowing us to sit in on your business counseling session. So I really appreciate that. And don't forget, past episodes of the Wave podcast is found at EDAC Morgan. That's EDAC. Morgan.com. And we're going to be on every month. We come on the last Monday of the month at noon. And we're really providing resources to build the capacity of women-owned businesses. So again, I want to thank you all for participating in this. And, next time we come on, we're going to talk about capital. I know people are looking for capital, so we're going to definitely focus on that. And you can reach me at omar@edacmorgan.com. And don't forget, we have some other activities that are coming up. Just head on over to our website. We got a certification coming up. We have a boot camp coming up in a couple of months. We do have access to capital. So reach out to us, and we look forward to seeing you on the next episode. Until then, continue to improve and progress. Peace.
Peace. Thank you.
Thank you, Omar. Thank you so much.
Thank you.